Zara was not in the mood to talk to anyone that evening. The space station outside her window was loud and full of life. But her room felt quiet and lonely. She was from the planet Valora, a peaceful race known for their glowing eyes and long memory, but peace didn't pay rent, and her credit balance was almost empty. So, she did something unusual. She posted a roommate ad on the Galactic Housing Network. It simply said, "One room available, clean and quiet, no loud species, please." She didn't expect anyone strange to reply. For days, nothing happened. Only a few bots clicked the ad, and one lizard creature asked if she allowed smoke clouds. In the room, Zara refused. Of course, she liked her room clean and private. On the seventh night, while Zara was finishing her meal paste, the doorbell rang. She paused. Surprised, she wasn't expecting anyone. Slowly, she walked to the door and pressed the view screen. At first, the screen showed static. Then it cleared. Her eyes widened. Standing outside was something she had only seen in history files. A human. Tall, with short hair, dark jacket, and a strange smile. He looked directly at the screen and waved. "Hi, I'm here about the ad," he said, his voice clear and confident. Zara didn't open the door immediately. She checked the ad again. It didn't say humans allowed, but the station was neutral ground. And if he was here, he must have clearance. She opened the door halfway. "You're a human," she said carefully. The man nodded. "Yes, name's Eli. I saw your ad." "Oh, nice place, by the way." He looked around like he was on vacation. Zara was silent, her glowing eyes studying him. Humans were rare in this part of the galaxy. Some said they were dangerous, others said they were extinct. She had never met one before. "You came here for the room?" she asked slowly. Eli smiled again. "That's right. I need a place to stay. And your ad looked honest." Zara blinked, unsure. "Do you even know the rules here?" "I don't share with loud species. No smoking, no crawling on ceilings, and absolutely no scanning my mind while I sleep." Eli laughed. "No worries. I don't smoke, I don't crawl, and I promise I won't scan you. I wouldn't even know how." His smile seemed real, but Zara was trained to read expressions. Something about his body language was too relaxed, like he had been here before. Still, she needed credits, and no one else had even come close to applying. She opened the door fully. "You can come in and look around, but I haven't said yes yet." Eli stepped inside. Looking around the small apartment, it was clean, simple, with soft lights and plant orbs hanging from the ceiling. "I like it," he said. Placing his bag near the wall, Zara crossed her arms. "Tell me why you're really here." Eli looked at her, then walked to the window, staring at the stars outside. He was quiet for a moment, then he said, "I'm not just here to rent a room." Zara narrowed her eyes. "I thought so." Eli turned to face her. "I'm looking for something," he said, voice softer now. "Something old, something hidden, and I think you might be the key." Zara stepped back, her heart suddenly fast. "What are you talking about?" He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small metal object. It glowed faintly. Blue lines like circuits ran across its surface. When he held it near her, the glow became brighter. "I found this on a crashed Earth ship," he explained. "It's a genetic scanner, but it only activates near certain DNA types." He looked at her with serious eyes. "Near? People like you." Zara stared at the object, then at him. "What do you want from me?" "Answers," he said simply, "and maybe help, because others are looking for this too. And they're not as polite as me." The glow continued between them, soft, strange, and full of questions. Zara didn't know who this human really was, but she felt it in her skin. Her quiet, normal life was about to change, and deep inside, a voice whispered, maybe she wasn't as normal as she thought. **. The smell of burnt protein paste filled the room. Eli stood in the kitchen area, holding a smoking pan and looking confused. "I followed the instructions on the wall," he said, waving the spoon like it was a weapon. Zara sighed deeply and pinched the bridge of her nose. "That's not a stove," she said, walking over. "It's a sterilizer." Eli blinked. "Oh, so that's why my socks were hot this morning." Zara stared at him. "You put your socks in the kitchen unit?" Living with a human was nothing like Zara expected. She had imagined quiet days, focused study time, and a peaceful routine. Instead, she got socks in the sterilizer, wet footprints on the ceiling, and way too many questions. Eli had only been her roommate for 2 days, but in those 2 days, he had managed to trip every sensor in the building, talk to the neighbor's pet slime, and nearly get arrested for touching a restricted gravity panel. Yet, Zara couldn't deny one thing: he made life interesting. "Your people really used fire to cook?" she asked later that evening, watching him roast something over a tiny open flame he had built using old wire and a battery. "Yep," Eli said proudly. "Fire was the beginning of everything. Cooking, warmth, weapons, even stories." Zara tilted her head. "Stories started with fire." Eli smiled. When people sat around it and shared who they were, what they feared, what they hoped for. Zara was quiet for a moment, watching the flame dance. It was strange, so old, so simple, and yet warm. Later that night, while Eli snored on the left bed, a sound that reminded her of a growling animal, Zara sat near her desk. Staring at her datapad, something about Eli was bothering her. Not just the way he talked or walked like he owned the station, but the way he kept looking at her like he knew something she didn't. She remembered the scanner, the glowing device he showed her on the first night. Was she really connected to it? Why would a human device react to her? Her thoughts were interrupted by a soft beep. A message appeared on her screen. "Unauthorized genetic scan detected source. Shared room for B." Her eyes widened. That was their room. Zara stood quickly and turned to look at Eli. He was still sleeping, blanket half off the bed, mouth open slightly. But his hand was resting near his bag, the same one that held the scanner. Quietly, she walked over and touched the bag. It was slightly warm. She unzipped it halfway and saw the device glowing softly, like before. But beside it was something new. A small screen displaying data, DNA patterns, highlighted segments. And her name, Zara's breath, caught in her throat. He had scanned her without permission. Her body froze, her mind racing. She took the scanner and pressed the side panel. It opened a hidden folder. Inside were files, not just about her, but others like her, mixed DNA, hidden identities, all tagged as targets of interest. Suddenly, Eli stirred. Zara closed the panel and stepped back, holding the scanner behind her. He opened one eye and looked at her. "Sleepy but sharp. You couldn't sleep either, huh?" he said, stretching Zara's voice was calm but cold. "You scanned me?" Eli sat up slowly. "I had to," he said. "I needed to know if it was true." "What's true?" she asked, her tone sharper now. Eli stood and faced her. "You're not just some alien girl from Valora," he said. "Your DNA matches a pattern from Earth. An ancient code we've been searching for, hidden in lost bloodlines." Zara narrowed her eyes. "So you came here to spy on me?" "No," he said. "I came here because I thought you might be one of the last keys, a bridge between two worlds." Zara shook her head. "You don't even know me." "I know enough," he replied. "I know that someone out there is looking for people like you, and they're not as friendly as me." She stepped closer. "Then tell me the full truth, or get out." Eli took a deep breath. "There's a war coming," he said. "Not one with ships and guns, a war of knowledge, blood, and history." He looked at her with tired, serious eyes. "And you're standing in the middle of it, whether you want to or not." Zara stared at him. unsure what to believe. But one thing was certain, her life was no longer just about rent and quiet evenings. Something bigger had already started, and it was only the beginning. At exactly 3:13 in the morning, the plant orb on Zara's desk blinked red 3 times. It only did that when someone in the room used a forbidden device. Zara opened her eyes without moving. Eli was awake, sitting on his bed, typing something into a small wristpad. His face was serious, lit only by the screen's glow. Zara closed her eyes again, pretending to sleep, but her thoughts were loud. She had let a stranger into her home, a human with secret files, scanning tools, and a mission. She still didn't fully understand. He said she was special, a genetic key, a bridge, but all she felt now was watched. That morning, while Eli went out for breakfast, which apparently meant some kind of dried meat sticks and a fizzy liquid called cola, Zara started searching. Not his stuff, her own. She pulled out her old storage box from under the bed. Inside were things she hadn't touched in years. Childhood sketches, broken learning tablets, her father's books, and at the bottom, a small wooden drawer, sealed tight with a biometric lock. It had belonged to her mother. She had never opened it, never dared to. But now, she placed her hand on the scanner. The light blinked, scanned her skin, and clicked open. Inside was a small sphere made of black glass and silver veins. It pulsed gently like a heartbeat. Next to it, a folded note with her name on it, written in 2 languages, one Valoran and the other Human English. Zara unfolded the note slowly. Zara, if you're reading this, then the time has come. I hid the truth to protect you, but you deserve to know. She read the words over and over again. The handwriting was shaky, but familiar. Her mother's. She had always been quiet about the past. Always told Zara not to ask questions about Earth or her childhood. Now she knew why, according to the letter. Her mother was not fully Valorant. She had human ancestry, and during a secret research mission, she had discovered something inside herself, a genetic pattern that could link ancient human knowledge with alien memory cells. Something powerful, something others wanted to control. Zara stared at the glowing sphere. Was this what Eli was looking for? Did he know about her mother? The door hissed open. Eli walked in, holding his meat sticks, chewing happily. Morning, he said. Want one? Tastes terrible, but in a good way. Zara quickly closed the drawer. Where did you go? She asked, trying to sound casual. Food court, he said. Then I checked a few files at the communication hub, looking for a pattern. Zara's eyes narrowed. What kind of pattern? Names, DNA matches, old Earth logs. He said, shrugging. You'd be surprised how many hidden files are floating through space. Zara stood, staring at him. And if you find someone like me? Eli stopped chewing, looked at her seriously. I don't want to find just anyone, he said. I want to find someone who understands what they are and what they could become. He didn't know about the drawer yet, or maybe he did. And he was pretending. Zara wasn't sure anymore. Later that night, Zara took the black silver sphere and placed it on her desk. She connected it to her datapad, hoping to learn more, but instead of files, it showed her an image, a map of stars, glowing blue lines stretching across the galaxy. At the center, one planet blinked slowly. It wasn't Valora, and it wasn't Earth. It was something else, hidden, forgotten, waiting. She reached for the scanner Eli had left charging, placed it next to the sphere. They pulsed in sync, like 2 pieces of the same puzzle. Then the lights in the room flickered. A cold wind blew across the room, though the windows were sealed. And a voice came from the device, soft and broken. If you are hearing this, the bloodline has awakened. Others will come, hide or run. Zara's hands trembled. She didn't know what to do. But she knew one thing for sure. She couldn't trust anyone. Not fully, not even Eli. Yet as the message ended and the devices powered down, she heard a soft click. The doors lock. Someone was outside, and they weren't knocking. Asterisk, the door didn't break. It melted. Right before Zara's eyes, the metal frame turned soft, dripping like wax under a heat beam, her room filled with smoke and sparks, and somewhere in the hallway footsteps. Heavy and fast, whoever was coming, they weren't here to talk. Zara grabbed the glowing sphere and stuffed it into her pack. The note from her mother, the DNA scanner, and her portable pad followed. There was no time to think. Only to move. Eli, she shouted. Wake up. He jumped from the bed. Still chewing the last bite of a snack. What the? Is that smoke? She didn't answer. She was already opening the back escape hatch near the floor. One of the few features she never thought she'd actually use. Zara, what's going on? Eli asked, pulling his bag over his shoulder. They're here, she said, crawling into the maintenance tunnel. Who? He asked. Dropping in behind her, the kind of people who melt doors instead of knocking. She said the crawl space was narrow, barely enough for one person. Pipes hissed with steam and light flickered from the old service lights behind. They could hear metal boots hitting the floor close, and getting closer. Zara's heart pounded. Her entire body told her to run, but there was nowhere to go in a straight pipe. So she did the only thing she could, keep crawling. They exited 2 floors down into a dark hallway full of old cargo crates and storage bots. Zara helped Eli out of the hatch and they ducked behind a container. They tracked the signal. Eli whispered. The sphere, it must have sent out something. No, Zara said, breathing hard. They were already watching us. Suddenly, the lights turned red. Alert, unauthorized presence in Sector 9B the station had activated. Lockdown mode, Eli peeked out. They're sealing the top floors. We can't go back, Zara said. We need to get off this level. There's a cargo tram a few blocks down, Eli said. If we reach it, we can ride out of the central zone. They started running, weaving between crates and closed shops. Some beings peeked from their doors. Others locked them quickly. No one wanted to get involved. Halfway through the alley, a laser shot hit the wall next to them. Zara screamed as sparks exploded beside her. Eli grabbed her hand, pulling her into a lower tunnel entrance. Inside, it was dark and wet, water dripping from above. Keep low, he said. They've got thermal vision. Who are they? Zara whispered, hunters. Eli said, they find people like you. Hybrids, bloodline carriers, anyone connected to the old human code. Why? Because they think your DNA can unlock tech that was lost thousands of years ago. Zara stopped for a second, breathing hard. I didn't ask for any of this, she said. I know, Eli replied. But the universe doesn't care who. Asked only who survives. They reached the tram station. A rusty platform where old cargo trams still ran supplies. Eli jumped onto a slow-moving tram and pulled Zara up behind them. They heard the hunters shout, and another shot rang out. Hitting the metal floor, the tram sped up, carrying them deeper into the underlayers of the station. They crouched behind crates, hidden in shadow. As the lights of the upper city faded, Zara stared at Eli, heart still racing. Why didn't you tell me they would come? I didn't know when, he said. Only that they always do. Eventually, Zara pulled out the glowing sphere. It was still pulsing, but now slower, as if it was calming down. What is this really? She asked. Eli leaned forward. That's a key. To what? To a planet no one remembers, a place humans and aliens once protected together. Long before war and fear separated them, he opened his own device, showing a map. See? This line, your DNA activated part of it, now the path is showing. Zara stared at the screen. A glowing path of stars leading to a sector labeled ECH07. And what's there? She asked. Answers, Eli said. And danger? She nodded slowly, then looked down at her shaking hands. I'm not ready. No one ever is, he said. But we don't have a choice anymore. As the tram rumbled deeper into the unknown, the lights behind them began to fade. The hunters had been left behind for now, but the real journey was only beginning. And the truth waiting in the shadows of the stars would change everything. The stars were too quiet. That's what Zara noticed first as their ship slipped out of warp. No signal traffic, no communication beacons, no noise from nearby stations, just silence. Like space was holding its breath. She looked through the small viewing window. Ahead was a dark planet floating alone in Sector Eco 7. Surrounded by shattered moons and glowing debris, it wasn't on any public map. It wasn't listed in the galactic database. It simply was. Eli sat in the pilot's chair, frowning at his scanner. This is it, he said. Coordinates match exactly. Zara didn't respond. Our fingers were wrapped tightly around the glowing sphere. It pulsed faster now, like it could feel they were close. The ship trembled as they entered the atmosphere. The clouds were heavy and dark, swirling like storms made of smoke. Below them, giant trees glowed with silver leaves, and strange structures poked through the ground. Towers shaped like bones, Zara whispered. This place feels. Old Eli nodded. This planet was part of the First Union. Zara turned to him, confused. What's the First Union? He leaned back, voice low. A forgotten alliance, humans, Valorans, Ivari, and others. They shared knowledge. Protected worlds, built things beyond what we have now. But something happened, something bad. The records were wiped, planets erased, names removed from every archive. Zara stared out the window, and this planet. This was one of their last outposts, he said, hidden from the galaxy before everything fell. As they landed near a cliff edge, Zara stepped outside first. The air was cool, filled with soft particles that shimmered in the light. Every step she took made the ground react, faint lights appearing beneath her feet. Like the planet remembered her. At the center of the valley was a door, not made of metal or stone, but energy. It floated between two broken pillars, buzzing. Quietly, Eli stepped up beside her, holding the scanner. The sphere will open it, he said. Zara hesitated. What if I don't want to know what's inside? Eli looked at her, calm but firm. Then the people who chased us will find it first. And they won't be gentle. She stepped forward, raised the sphere, and pressed it into the energy field. The door pulsed, then slowly opened, revealing a long tunnel lit by glowing roots. They entered carefully. The walls showed carvings, not just pictures, but stories. One showed humans and aliens building something together. Another showed hands holding stars. Then, war, darkness, blood, and silence. Zara felt something strange in her chest. A connection, like the story was not just old, but hers at the end of the tunnel. They entered a wide chamber. In the center stood a tall device, like a tree mixed with a machine, branches reaching the ceiling. It reacted the moment Zara stepped near. A soft voice filled the room, not through speakers, but directly into her mind. Zara Vel, daughter of two worlds. You carry the memory of the Union. Your blood has the key to unlock what was lost. Zara fell to her knees, overwhelmed. Eli rushed to her side. Are you okay? She nodded, shaking. It's talking to me. The machine glowed brighter, and projected a map of the galaxy star systems marked with red lights. Those are the other hidden sites, Eli said, pointing. There are more. Zara asked. Looks like it. Then the light dimmed, and the voice returned. But you are not alone. They have followed you. Zara and Eli looked at each other, eyes wide, outside the chamber. The sound of a ship landing echoed through the valley. Eli grabbed her hand. We need to move. Now. Zara looked back at the machine. Wait, what did it unlock? Behind them, a part of the floor opened, revealing a small black box. Smooth and warm to the touch, Zara picked it up, the sphere pulsing inside her bag as if in agreement. Suddenly, they heard voices, not just one, many. The hunters had arrived. This planet had been asleep for centuries, but now its secrets were awake. And everyone wanted a piece. The forest was burning. Silver leaves turned to ash as fire spread through the ancient trees. Smoke rose into the sky like ghosts escaping from the past. Zara ran through the ruins, the black box clutched tightly to her chest, behind her. Lasers lit up the night. The hunters had arrived, and they weren't hiding anymore. Left? Eli shouted, pointing toward a broken path through glowing rocks. Zara followed, breathing hard, her heart pounding like a drum. The ancient machine had called her by name. It had shown her a map, called her a memory of the Union. But the one thing it didn't show was what to do next. They reached a small cave hidden behind vines and dropped inside. It was quiet, at least for now. Zara sat against the wall, her hands shaking. The black box in her arms hummed softly. Reacting to her presence, Eli sat down. Across from her, out of breath, he looked at her, not with fear, but with something new. Understanding, maybe even respect. "You felt it, didn't you?" he said. Zara nodded slowly. "It spoke to me," she whispered. "Not just in words, it showed me things. My mother, my father, their memories." Eli leaned forward. "What did you see?" Zara closed her eyes. There was a lab. Hidden far away, my mother was a human scientist. Brilliant. Afraid and pregnant. She wasn't supposed to mix DNA with Valorans. But she did. She risked everything to create something new. Me. Eli said nothing. He just listened. "My father loved her," Zara continued. "But he knew the others wouldn't accept it. So he erased all the data, left the lab, and hid her on Valora. She gave me the box and told him, one day she will return to where it started." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I thought I was just normal, a quiet girl who liked clean rooms and peaceful days, but I'm not." "No," Eli said softly. "You're the future they were afraid of." Suddenly, the black box opened. Inside was a small crystal, clear and sharp, floating. In the air, it began to spin, casting symbols across the cave walls, languages both alien and human. The light touched Zara's skin, and her veins lit up faintly with blue lines. Eli watched in silence. "You're activating it," he said. Zara looked at him. "What is it?" "A memory core," he said. "It stores knowledge, but it only responds to certain DNA signatures." The crystal spun faster, then released a wave of light in the center of the cave. A hologram appeared, a woman with dark hair and glowing eyes. Zara gasped. "Mom," the hologram spoke, "if you're seeing this, then you've found the planet. You've unlocked the core. And the galaxy will soon know who you are. They will come for you. Because your bloodline carries the key to forgotten technology tech that could rebuild or destroy entire systems. You must choose wisely." Eli stared at the hologram. "Your mother was trying to protect not just you, but everyone." Zara touched the edge of the projection. Her mother's voice was calm, but heavy with warning. "Zara, your blood connects the past and the future. You are the balance. Don't let anyone take that from you." The hologram faded, and silence filled the cave again. Zara sat still for a long time. Then she stood, her hands no longer shaking. "I'm done running," she said. Eli stood too. "Then we finish this." But before they could move, the cave shook. Rock fell from the ceiling and above them. Voices shouted. The hunters had found them. Zara placed the crystal back into the box and held it close. She turned to Eli, her eyes glowing brighter than ever before. "If they want the bloodline," she said, "they'll have to fight for it." And this time, she wouldn't hide. This time, she would fight back. The cave had no doors, only light and stone. But Zara walked through it like it was a battlefield. Above her, the ceiling cracked from plasma fire. The hunters had breached the cliffside and dropped in with full armor. Their voices were cold, mechanical, without names or faces. But Zara, she had both. She stepped into the open, no longer hiding the glow beneath her skin. The sphere floated beside her, and the crystal in her chest pulsed like a second heart. Eli stood behind her, weapon drawn, but even he knew this was no longer just his mission. This was Zara's moment. The lead hunter raised a scanner. Target confirmed hybrid class. Zara raised her hand the moment she did. The ancient tech in the ruins responded. Towers lit up, vines uncoiled like circuits. Waking up, the planet remembered her. It listened to her. You're not supposed to exist, the hunter said, stepping forward. No, Zara replied. I'm not, but I do. And then she moved. A wave of energy burst from her body, not violent, but commanding. The hunters fired, but the light from the crystal bent there. Shots away like wind-bending arrows, Eli ran forward, flanking them from the side. He fought with precision, fast, sharp, efficient. Zara didn't need to fight like him. She simply stood in the center. Activating the core buried beneath the chamber floor, the ground opened. And from it rose a giant structure, like a heart made of stars. It glowed with the memories of hundreds of civilizations. And in the middle, a throne of light. Only the bloodline may command the beacon, said a voice from the machine. Zara stepped forward. I am the bloodline, she said, her voice echoing through the trees when she placed her hand on the beacon. The sky changed. A wave of blue light shot upward into space, far beyond the planet, beyond the sector. It carried a signal, an invitation, and a warning. On Earth, somewhere deep in a forgotten base. A screen flickered for the first time in centuries. Signal received, origin, Eco 7. Back on the ruined planet, the hunters stopped moving. Their systems shorted, their commands scrambled. They dropped their weapons. The war was over, at least for now. Zara stepped away from the beacon, her strength almost gone. Eli caught her before she collapsed. You did it, he whispered. I don't know what I did, she said, breathing hard. You reminded the galaxy who we are. He replied. Zara looked at the stars above. For the first time, she didn't feel lost. She didn't feel like a stranger in her own skin. She felt complete. You're not just Valoran, Eli said, smiling. You're not just human. You're something new. Zara smiled, tired but proud. Maybe being human isn't so bad after all. The wind blew softly across the valley. The silver trees began to bloom again, and far, far away, Earth was watching, waiting, coming.